Hi everyone, back here with part 2 of my Denon POA 1500 restoration. I got it going, it is running fine. I still have to tweak it a little bit. I gotta I can't find anybody with an oscilloscope, an oscillator, a distortion meter. There was one guy down in Virginia Beach, and that's a RANT that I have that I will explain to you later. Yeah, so what I did was I recapped the entire amp. Everything that's in the signal path I upgraded with better resistors. I've installed Elna Silmic 2 audiophile capacitors. All the other capacitors I switched out with Panasonic FMs or FCs. I gotta look it up, but I recapped everything, added new transistors. Also new power ones right there, you can see. Also bipolar ones right there, you see the MUSE right there. I also upgraded a bunch of stuff. Pretty much I rebuilt the amp. So the only question I have is, well, it's not really a question. Right now I haven't noticed it. Then again, the amp is not calibrated. I haven't done the right, I don't have it calibrated for the right distortion. I do have calibrated for the right bias. Now in the instructions or the schematics manual, service manual that I got, basically it runs at 15 plus or minus NVs, which you just simply hook up your multimeter to these two leads and you take a reading. Both of them are set to 15 right now. Both of these right there. That's fine. What else did I do? You guys remember the speaker post? That's all nice and ready to go. I've also upgraded the capacitors on the input right here. So another thing I did was the lights, the lamps. The lamps on these PO 1500 are notoriously bad. They go, if you find one, usually they sell these used. If you find one, usually the lamps will go out. They go out like every 4 or 5 months, depending on how much you use it. So what I did was I ran 6 LEDs all throughout the 2 boards. There's a board here with a board here. I calculated the resistance needed so it could run off the power coming through here, which I think was 28 volts. I just didn't want to find the replacement bulbs and having to switch it out every 4 or 5 months. You know, I'm not doing that. But it also gave a good blue color, not the Macintosh blue that I wanted, but it's a darker blue. It looks a lot nicer than the plain white one that was on there before, because depending on how bright your white it really doesn't look, it looked really bad to me. So there it is. I replaced pretty much everything. I'm a noob, so I don't do this for a living. It took me a while to learn. I used to be a general mechanic. I know about current. I could read schematics, which I had the entire schematics here. So, but I had some hiccups too. There's some parts that you just can't find. One of them was one of the emitters. These emitter resistors here, I think to save maybe time or money, it reads 0.18 ohms on each lead. So if you, actually this is open. This is, I'm sorry. There it is right there. So it reads around 1.9 right there. So if you switch, let me see, leads here. It reads about 2.0 roughly, 1.9 there. So this one's good. I'm gonna put this back in as soon as I'm done with this video. I'm gonna put it back in. This one right here was bad. So if you take the reading, you don't get anything. So I couldn't find, I think these are cement sand resistors, Noble X2. I could not find them anywhere. I tried eBay, even though I haven't bought anything off eBay because there's a lot of fake stuff out there, and I just don't want to do it. I don't want to put like a fake transistor or something in here and then have it blown up. You know, I bought it straight from outlets. So this one was bad. So what I did was I had another one. I built another one here for this demonstration. So you saw what the readings was on this. The only difference is this one's same wire wound. What I did was solder them together right here, and use this. If you look at the readings from here to the middle one, roughly 2.0, 1.9, exactly the same as the cement one that was, you know, which got blown. And if you read it here, it's pretty much the same thing, same reading. So that's what I did, again, because I cannot find the 0.18 ohm resistors. This is one that I used to replace one of those. The other thing that I couldn't find was, and I don't have it around here, which was this diode, this black and orange looking diode that it was like a KB265 something. No, it was, yeah, I think it was a KB265. Again, one of those parts that it's unless you're a dealer or you know you're in the audiophile, that's your business. You might have one laying around. I could not find one, so what I did was this is demonstration again. These are two diodes. I think they're 1 and something. I forgot what the marking was on there, but it came out. Basically, you buy a strand like this. So if you have the readings on one, there it's actually right here. Let me go right here for a second. Let's switch this diode. It reads about 656 or something like that. This is not going to be accurate at all because what I did was took two of them and I soldered them together as one. And pretty much the same thing I did with the resistor. It's not going to be anywhere just for demonstration purposes. This is what you get when you put them together. Something like that. It's not going to, like I said, it's demonstration purposes. It's not soldered together. It's just you know, manually bounded there. So, but you get the idea. Those were the two pieces that I could not find. The other pieces that I could not find, they don't make them anymore, was the drivers. Now, what I have in there right now, excuse me, is two SA1930 drivers along with the complementary ones, which is 5171. Sorry, it's out there. These are the ones that are bad. They got burnt out. As you see, somebody was already in here because they don't match. This one's a D256. This one's the C2338 that belong with the 2SA968. Alright, I do have other ones. These are the direct replacements to this set over here, which is 2C 4793 and the 2A1837. This pair right here is supposed to be a lot better, but I'm not sure about the SOA, which is a safe operating area. But I mean, it's an easy switch out. You know, it'll take me 20 minutes to switch out the drivers. So I want to use these for a little bit. If somebody knows a little bit more, like I said, I'm a total noob. I don't do this for a living. I know something about electricity, you know. So they're able to give me a little hint or a little advice on that, that would be great. Right now it sounds really nice. Still, it only has about 25 hours. The capacitors to finally break in and settle in takes around 100 hours. 100 to 150 hours where I read for the Elnas. So I haven't experienced a full sonic, but it's every day or every hour the sound gets more clearer, crisper. The bass starts to tighten up. The high starts to open. So I got it going. Everything's fine. Now my rant. So I was having trouble there for a little bit. You know, like I said, I don't do this for a living. I can read schematics. You know, I know about electricity. If you're going to start working on equipment, if you don't know what you're doing, then stay the fuck out, because you touch something, you know, a capacitor, it's fucking deadly. It's lethal. You know, you'll wind up dead. So, again, all the caution, you know, just don't, if you don't know anything about, you know, electricity or components, then, you know, don't mess with it, or get somebody else to do it. So what was happening was the bias on my right side was not holding. You know, it was holding on my left side, it wasn't holding on my right side, and I was getting the protection lights in the front telling me something was wrong. You know, I couldn't fucking figure it out. I was getting frustrated. So I found a guy down in Virginia Beach, right? So I emailed the guy. I told him what was going on. He goes, yeah, you know, bring it down, and I'll take a, I'll take a look at it. You know, so I drive 45 minutes down to Virginia Beach, and I arrive, and my wife is with me. So I get there, you know, I bring it open. Right, talk to the guy. I explain what happened. You know, the left channel was blown. I switched out all the transistors. You know, but I'm getting protection, a protection here that I just can't figure out. I don't know what the hell's going on. Right. So the guy goes back and gets, I guess, the manager, the owner, or whatever. He comes up there. You know, he introduces himself, and he's like, "Yeah, what's going on?" So I tell him what's going on, and I give him this box. All right, little box here of everything I've done. You know. Extras of everything. You know, capacitors, resistors. I bought. You know, it's really cheap. You know, resistors 19, 20 cents. This whole ring right here costs $1. These things were a little expensive, which was the output transistors. But he takes a look at this and he just starts fucking ranting, man. Oh my fucking god! I don't think I've ever been treated. I lived in Germany, in Italy, in Belgium. I lived in North Carolina. I'm from Connecticut, originally from Connecticut. I lived in New York. I lived in Kansas, Colorado, Louisiana. I lived in a lot of places. This is my worst experience as a customer, going to a place and actually, here, can you fix this for me, and I'll fucking pay you. All right. The guy first thing he does is he complains about the fucking screws. About, you know, the screws, oh, well, those aren't the correct screws. I'm like, you know, I was just in shock. You know, my wife is with me. She's got this look on her face. I'm like, I wasn't getting mad, you know, because I was just like, what? He goes through this box and he's like, oh man, you know, whoever did this doesn't know what he's doing. As soon as you start, you know, taking this apart, you'll never ever get it to sound good again. These capacitors. He starts ranting about some shit on audiokarma.org about some guys who's experienced with some fucking Yamaha's amplifiers there. You know, I'm just in shock. I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed at all. I mean, I didn't argue with the guy. I didn't say, you know, anything, but the guy just ranting on, and then he's like, if you guys look at my name, I think he might have saw me online or in one of the DIY audio, because, you know, he says, well, I hope whoever messed around with this stuff doesn't fix up airplanes. Well, first of all, the guy didn't even open it. He just went off what he saw here, which was pretty much all replacement parts. And he looked at some of the I also replaced some of the old Mica capacitors, which were really beat up. They're small. They look burnt. So I replaced them with some new ones. And he was like, "No, those are RFI. No, they're not RFI. Fucking goddamn Mica. I know what. I'm not gonna put a snubber fucking capacitor somewhere. In coupling. I'm not gonna or an RFI one in there. Everything was switched out. A bit. According to what the specification was. Even when I showed, he looked at this. He goes, "Oh, why did you change this? This, if you change this, you change the bias. No, you don't, you fucking moron. If you change the fucking value of it, then yeah, it's going to change the bias on the thing." Well, anyways, that was like I said, in all the places I lived, that was probably the most horrible experience I had of a customer going into the store and here, can you help me out? Um, here's some money. In this economy, it was out. Like I said, I'm still shocked. So I come back, right? I'm fucking bummed. I'm like, oh my god, this fucking amp just sounds, it's so fucking awesome. It just beats the pants out of my Sony, which I've made some black and white videos on it. So I come back and I fucking figured it out. All right, there was this transistor on the back of the board. See, it's on the back of the board. I look at my notes and everything. I go through all my soldering. I'm going nuts, and sure enough, I've moved it, and one of the legs was not totally soldered on. Now, this is one of those transistors that I didn't deal with. I mean, I didn't switch it out, so I desoldered it, and tested the transistor, tested good. I resoldered it on there, turned it, plugged it up, turned it on, bam. Everything came out smooth. Everything was sounding. I was getting noise. I was getting. Oh man, it was like Christmas. But I'm so glad I didn't give that fucking moron down there at Virginia Beach my money. But yeah, the only thing left to do with this is I got to set up the distortion on there. Basically, you need an oscillator, a distortion meter, a voltmeter, an 8 ohm dummy resistor, which I have, and set it up for the distortion. I don't know how I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to have to download maybe a program, because I'm definitely not going to that moron anywhere again. So that's the only thing. Meter adjustments. So there you have it. There's a Denon POA 1500. I will put some music on up here to celebrate. As soon as I get the distortion down on it and everything's good to go, I'll probably play that jazz on the pawn shop. I promise you guys, because it's a really magnificent recording to test out your system. So please leave comments. Like I said, somebody can help me out with these drivers here, or any recommendations. I appreciate it. If not, I'll just keep online and read it. Probably go over to DIY Audio and ask around there and see what those guys think. But like I said, I'm not getting any oscillation, or it's not cutting off or anything. But then again, I'm not driving it hard, and it's still not calibrated the way it should be. So thanks a lot, guys, and enjoy, and leave comments, like I said. Thanks. Bye.